Natalie Robin gone, Tim Goss gone, Deborah Mayer, Steve Nielsen gone, Shayla Ann Rao, Luke Skipper, Jacob Bansgard gone, Niels Wittich, Michael Massey gone, Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Then why are you still here, chap? This is a crisis now of epic proportions as far as the FIA, the regulatory body of the sporting endeavour that we call F1. This is chaos, nonsense, non-rhetorical questions are all of the aforementioned. I don't understand what's going on here. The FIA are the body set to institute for the rules and regulations, make sure that there are sufficient safeguards in place around this sport that we love. And yet and still, Mohammed Ben Sulayem has failed at every single hurdle as far as instituting for those over the past 3 years. So why then, I ask you again, is this dude still in position? It makes no sense. Attention-seeking settings at every single juncture, as if he hasn't got other, bigger, more flagrant, hotter fires to put out. Please see as your Exhibit A, him posting pictures of Prince Andrew and Max Mosley with a view to celebrate the anniversary of the Bahrain Grand Prix, calling out Susie Wolff on the back of zero evidence for apparently infringing upon conflicting priorities. What are we doing here? Transpondergate, Jewelrygate, Austin a couple of weekends ago. Lest we forget Abu Dhabi 2021 and the polemic that was. Expletive Gate a couple of weekends back, giving Maximilian Verstappen a penalty that was very different in substance to what Charles Leclerc received for doing a very similar thing, for dropping an F-bomb. I say again to you guys, ladies and gentlemen of the F1 jury, why is Mohammed Ben Sulayem still here, bringing the sport at this point into disrepute? I am done with it. It makes no sense, to the point where the GPDA are writing this dude and his organisation, which suffers, by the way, from a cheeky bit of regulatory capture, sending this dude a letter asking him to treat the drivers, the asset in the F1 crown, the biggest one of, treat the drivers as adults. What are we doing here? This makes no sense at this point. Again, I say for the avoidance of doubt, as if this dude doesn't have other fires to be putting out, much bigger and brighter and hotter than the attention-seeking ones that he's so bloody concerned with. Key personnel leaving every single bloody time. Again, this is a cacophony of evidence if we're making a case against the head of the FIA. What are we doing, chat? It makes no sense. I really can't get it straight, even square for me, this regulatory body circle as far as Mohammed Ben Sulayem's concerned. Now, I know as far as the teams and all stakeholders, related parties even, are concerned, that there is something to be said for Stacey, that PR won't look fantastic if indeed they get rid of Mohammed Ben Sulayem before his tenure is due to expire naturally, December 2025. I get that. But at this point, it just looks bad all round, doesn't it? They can't get anything right. Transpondergate, bloody can't even use the eye test to see whether Checo Perez has full started a Grand Prix. What are we doing here? Just check the cars. Have they moved before the lights went out? Then that is a full start. And institute for that penalty in real time. Am I missing something, chat? There must be something that I'm missing, eh? I just don't understand it at this point. Common sense in F1 apparently is none too common. And again, having worked for some very serious minds myself as far as financial services, inspirational leaders don't disenfranchise the people who work underneath them, not at the altar of attention seeking. And this is what this dude is doing now in real time. All of the key people that he signed to fix for the ills and travails of the regulatory body, of the one that Fs, have now left that dude. This is indicative of something more insidious, something terminal now. Now, if you speak to insiders, aficionados up and down the paddock, they say of Mohammed Ben Sulayem that all of the attention seeking is lost in the roundings, that ultimately that fades to black. It's not the most It's not the most endearing of feature, of course, especially when you consider his predecessor Jean Todt, who liked to operate in the shadows, who was the epitome of competence, a silent partner that F1 needed as far as the regulatory body. However, ultimately, you don't get sacked for a bit of attention seeking. That's not a sackable offence. However, what is a sackable offence as far as Mohammed Ben Sulayem is concerned is as follows: failing to take heed of the advice, the counsel of your most trusted advisors. That's what he fails to do. Mohammed Ben Sulayem goes jet setting all around the world and expenses that's not insubstantial travel to the FIA. What are we doing here? That's a bad look for all concerned. Get out of it, Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Behave yourself, sir. This is the sport that we know and love, that we turn up at all hours of the day to watch each and every single week. Bernie Ecclestone told you once upon a time that as soon as the race finishes, that the fans need to know the result. There can't be any retrospective amendments. Why? Because F1 fans will lose faith and trust in the sport, therefore. So how comes after the Austrian Grand Prix last year, there were 1,400 track infringements that needed investigating? The results, we don't know them. We can't trust in them. FIA, Liberty Media harbour aspirations to continue growing this sport worldwide, to growing their bottom line, to making green numbers even bigger green numbers. Therefore, Mohammed Ben Sulayem is a problem, ladies and gents, that needs fixing for in real time. This is mission critical. This is DEFCON 1. Now, I implore Formula 1, know the FIA, to do what's right by all parties, the drivers, the key assets in Formula 1, the teams, the team principals, and lest we forget the fans, because at this stage I'm reading headlines every single day that this chap is bringing the sport into disrepute, the sport that we know and love, the sport that we turn up, pay tens of thousands of pounds and dollars that we can't afford to go and watch. F1 have said that at the O2 Arena this year, there will be or next year even, there will be the livery reveal for 2025. And I would love to go to that, but I can't afford it. And again, lest we forget that we want to see some new liveries, some new machines next year, right? Again, they're doing the disingenuous thing and not even showing us the proper liveries. Why would I pay money for that? And again, I ask the question this way to bookend this FIA Mohammed Ben Sulayem rant. Why would I pay money to watch a sport that nobody understands, that's not policed with any sort of consistency across the board, where they're handing out fines to Max Verstappen, different from the fine that they're giving to Charles Leclerc? This makes no sense. Make it make sense. Help me square this circle, ladies and gents, because at this point, I don't know why Mohammed Ben Sulayem is still in situ, still head of the FIA, the regulatory body that suffers from regulatory capture of the sport that we all know and love, called F1. Ladies and gentlemen of the F1 jury, what are we doing here?